Today on the Cajun Conservative Show, we talk about Target and teachers that are woke, pushing woke agenda on you and your kids. And as a parent, what should you do about it? Also, we talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden and other members of his administration. Then we go ahead and talk about Obama and how he says a divided media is keeping him up at night. All that and more on the Cajun Conservative Show right now. How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and we talk about the pursuit of happiness, and we show the world that us Cajuns, yes, do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you are located, because remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am excited to be with you here today. Great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. This is graduation week, I guess you could say, for everyone that is going out of school and they're graduating high school and moving on to college or moving on to their life endeavors. We don't know, but had a couple of my nieces, a couple of my nieces and a nephew that graduated this week. And with that being said, congratulations to all the students that did graduate this week and the graduations that are coming up. Pray that the Lord paves your way to everything you're dreaming of. And also a great church service this morning, and but at the time of listening to this episode, we got the LSU Tigers and the UL Raging Cajuns battling for the regional at in Baton Rouge. So I'm keeping an eye on that as well. So I'm not going to give the score out to anybody or anything like that, but I was watching that before starting off today. But yeah, so that's why I'm wearing UL Raging Cajun red. We're around the facility of Lafayette, Louisiana, and I gotta support our Cajuns. I like LSU. I'm not gonna go ahead and poke fun at all my LSU friends out there. I love the Tigers, unless they play the red and white. Then I have to go ahead and go with my Cajuns right there. So I was watching that. Keep an eye out on that as I talk to you today. And I'm just excited. I'm ready to talk about everything that's going on and what has happened in the last week. And I want to start off with something, ladies and gentlemen. My kids at the time of this recording is in private school. And if I ever had to take them out of private school, I would go ahead and make sure they're homeschooled. Now, I don't have nothing against the teachers that are in the public school system. But unfortunately, our society, and especially some of our public schools, are pushing left-leaning agendas. And this week, we have a couple of stories on that, but this is why I encourage people to put their kids in private school if possible, or at least homeschool their kids. Because we have companies and we have school systems that say they're not trying to influence your children, but in reality they are. And look, I'm going to bring out 3 examples this week, and we're going to start off with the latest one at the time of this recording. It is Target. Now, if you remember, Target a few years ago pushed a campaign to make gender-neutral bathrooms. Basically, what they were saying is, listen, if you feel like you're a male and you are a biological female, you can go ahead and walk into a male's bathroom. And it's vice versa. If you are a biological male and you felt you were a female, they would let you go into a female restroom. And they did, I think it was in 2016, 2017, something around that area. And it really hit shockwaves. Well, no, it was that because I was on the air and I talked about it. So a few years ago, this happened. And yours truly came on the microphone and said this is crazy. And this gender-affirming ideology that's been coming out has been on the forefront of a lot of this stuff. And Target wanted to make sure that people felt comfortable in their stores. Now, go past the fact that we weren't comfortable as believers and straight people. Because I don't want a biological male going into the restroom with my wife or my daughter. I'm sorry. I think that is just idiotic. Now, if the transgender people really want to go ahead and bring a fight over that, use the gender neutral bathroom. Our local Target here in Louisiana, they have a gender neutral bathroom. If you don't want to go into a male bathroom, and you feel if you're a biological male, you don't want to go to a female if you want to go to a female bathroom, don't make anybody else uncomfortable. Go into the gender neutral bathroom where any sex could go in there. But this was Target's doing. Target was one of the many companies that pushed this back in the day. Let's go on to this week now, however. We're getting close to June, June is the Pride Month. And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the hypocrisy of Pride Month. It started out as Pride Day, then Pride Week, then it went to Pride Month. And majority of people in America went ahead and accepted this. It's Pride Month. Let's just go ahead and celebrate these people. I've been calling for a couple of years now, hey, let's have a Christian month where we talk, and I can hear some of the leftists already saying, hold on, Isaac, y'all, that's 11 months out of the year. No, let me go ahead. I'm really calling for, and look, if you back me up on this, please comment at the bottom of this video or the comment on the YouTube, on the audio side. How many of y'all really want a Christian day or a Christian month where Target goes ahead and puts Christian literature on t-shirts for us to sell? Target calls me and tells me, hey, Mr. Hayes, we know you're a Christian, and we would really like you to design some shirts, and we're gonna sell them on there, or sell them on our racks. And for a whole month, we're gonna talk about Christianity. Target would never do that, which is the hypocrisy that's going on here. Target is the latest company to go woke and bow down to the extreme leftists targeting innocent children with their radical agenda. This is from Town Hall. The popular store faced harsh criticism for selling women bathing suits with a section to tuck private parts in for its new Pride collection, which includes clothing for babies and children with trans-friendly slogans. The bathing suit created in partnership with Humankind is designed to help biological men tuck their genitals away to appear more feminine. The swimsuit also includes extra crotch cover. Also, the Target is also selling Pride-themed items for kids, such as a book called Thus the Night Before Pride, and rainbow-themed clothing, including lime green adult rapper suits with the word gay printed on the back, a live, laugh, lesbian t-shirt, and a mug emblazoned with the words gender fuel. So, ladies and gentlemen, now this is where I get with the left, okay? I really get upset with the left. Oh, you're Christians, y'all pushing your ideology on us. Oh, you're preaching your Christianity, Jesus upon us. How dare you? Don't you know you should just live in church? But, ladies and gentlemen, they can go ahead and they have the backing of major companies to sell clothing that pushes their agenda. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, you live in America. If you want to be part of the LGBTQ community, you have every right to do that. I'm not going to go ahead and argue your right, as I have every right in America to be a Christian. And also on that note, as I have the right to share the gospel and to preach to anybody that will listen, they have the right to go ahead and say, hey, you shouldn't believe that way. You can go ahead and voice your opinion, but you can't force somebody to believe that way. I agree with those stands, but theirs is the different. Oh, you're forcing me when I'm telling you an opinion or a belief I have. You can choose not to believe it or not to believe it. That is your choice. But they go ahead and they get the backing of big companies and are forcing this down our throat. Now, I know it's bad when this happened because my wife told me today, hey, I'm not going to go ahead and shop at Target no more. Now, this is our right as well. See, cancel culture, I'm not all for it. But as parents and as believers of Jesus Christ, we have the right to say, Target, you lost our business. I'm not advocating for anybody else to do it. It was the same way with Bud Light. I didn't come behind this microphone and tell, hey, you beer drinkers, don't drink Bud Light. Now, it was real easy for me to boycott Bud Light. I don't drink whatsoever. But I didn't go to my neighbors across the street and say, hey, you shouldn't drink Bud Light. One of my neighbors is my brother-in-law, and he loves Budweiser, and I asked him, hey, you still drink it? That's all I did. But I didn't go to him and say, hey, you need to stop drinking Bud Light and Budweiser. I didn't do that. But you have a choice as individuals in America to say, hey, I don't want to participate in that. Or I'm not going to support you because you're supporting something that I disagree with. As parents and as believers or as individuals of America, we have that right. But when we say stuff like that, people will come on and say, oh, you're participating in cancel culture. Nope. This is the difference between cancel culture and me saying I'm not going to shop there. Cancel culture says, hey, I'm not going to shop that, and everybody else said don't shop. Y'all better not shop there either. I'm saying I'm not shopping there, and you never hear me behind this microphone saying you should not shop at Target. Now, there is some people that have called for canceling Target because of this, and Target, I will, my humble opinion, is wrong. Target should not be selling this type of clothing, especially a bathing suit, a one-piece suit for a woman, and say, hey, I'm going to give you something to hide your genitals in there, to where people won't see it. Oh, if you hide the crouch, it's not gonna. You won't know if it's a woman or a man. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, kids are gonna see this, and kids are gonna ask the question, wait, what is this? Now, I don't want my children exposed to this kind of stuff. Oh, you're wrong. You're not opening your mind to the kids. No, I'm trying to protect my kids. I'm not gonna go to Target, or I'm not gonna I'm not trying to go anywhere that supports this behavior. Why? Because I want to protect my kids. But Target doing it, and Target selling clothes that specifically target kids. You don't think they're trying to indoctrinate our children to believe this is normal? And this is what all Pride Month is, ladies and gentlemen. I will be honest with you. This whole Pride Month thing is just for people to say it's normal now. Hey, you know, back in the day, we thought it was crazy. We thought it was little. We didn't think it was right. But now it is normal for a man and a man to get married. It is normal for a woman and a woman to get married. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not. It isn't. It is not normal for a man to say, hey, I'm a woman, and start. It's not. And look, you know what? I'm going to be, look, heck on all this stuff. It's not normal. Now, you might say, well, Isaac, that is your opinion. Yes, but opinions are back. If you have an opinion that is backed by fact, it's not no longer opinions. And ladies and gentlemen, Target is doing it. Target is telling you, hey, this is normal, when it's not. Now, you have a choice, as I came up with a choice. I think they're pushing this upon our children. We're going to go to our next story, which I think is pretty, let me go with this one first, because this right here, I honestly think is one of the most disturbing out of all these examples that I'm giving today, as Target is pushing this LGBTQ agenda on our children. Parents call police after Illinois teachers offers LGBTQ book to her students. An Illinois teacher over 20 years had the cops called on her after she gave her middle school students the option of reading a book about sexuality and gender. Sarah Barnard held a book testing for students in March and offered an array of fiction and nonfiction titles, including Gino Dawson's "This Book is Gay," which quickly became a encounter of a massive controversy when parents called the police over the book choice. Why did the parents call the cops on this teacher? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this book that she was giving the kids to read had pictures of people performing intimate acts and showed body parts. Now, if you look at this teacher was learned that the parents had gotten hold of the pictures their 8th graders snapped on their phones of a book during the class. These were 8th graders. Ladies and gentlemen, this is middle school kids. Now, look, and this touches me pretty close because I'm a youth pastor. Me and my wife have been a youth pastor now for almost 3.5 years. And ladies and gentlemen, kids, 10, our youth group holds kids from 11 to 18. And ladies and gentlemen, when you have kids that are 10, 11, 12, 13 reading books like this, they should not be, look, unless it's a scientific book like a biology, you shouldn't have books. You should not introduce books to kids that have pictures in it that are showing sexual acts. It is wrong. Now, the teacher was all flabbergasted because, oh my goodness, the parents called the cops on me. Yes, you are basically giving them pornography. Oh, no, this is to show them what's going on in the world. No, it's not showing them what's going on in the world. A teacher should not go ahead and show kids or even get what was going through this teacher's mind to say, I'm going to give these kids a book that some adults blush at. Come on. Look, but I wanted them to be open-minded. She even made a quote somewhat to that, saying she wanted the kids of the LGBTQ in her classroom to feel comfortable. Okay, if the parents want their kids to read that, we can't say nothing. But a school teacher should not go ahead and introduce that to the kids. It is not a teacher's right to go ahead and give our kids in our schools literature that shows sexual perversion. Which goes to the next part, another story of this week, when a teacher in the state of Florida defied law and showed the movie Stranger Worlds. Now, what was Stranger Worlds? Stranger World was a movie based on a gay character that Disney put out. The movie flopped, and everybody, it was not properly advertised. I don't give two flips about it. But this teacher broke law. Now, she said she did not know she broke the law, but ladies and gentlemen, Florida for the last year and a half have been fighting laws like this and passing legislation banning this type of behavior in their school. But ladies and gentlemen, this teacher defined law. There's no ifs and buts about it. But this teacher is on the fire for showing the film, Stranger Worlds. She defended her decision. After parents and members of the school board, Shanna Rodriguez, complained. However, the teacher is now being investigated by the school district and State Department of Education for showing a film with an openly gay character. Now, Rodriguez said at a recent school board meeting that the film opens the door for teachers to have conversations with students that are inappropriate for the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, I agree with Miss Rodriguez. Come on, look, it's for the parents to explain this adult stuff to their kids, not the teacher. The teacher shouldn't be, hey, we're going to show a movie, and her excuse was it's a science lesson. I don't know what was the science lesson in Stranger World. If I'm not mistaken, it's about this family that goes into an alternate universe. There is no alternate universe. Look, if it was, please show me the portal to where Donald Trump won in 2020. Please. Give me that alternate universe, but it's not there. It don't exist. But Ms. Rodriguez said, look, the teacher, this should not happen in the classroom. Now, Ms. Jenna Barbie, who argued that students are already having these conversations about same-sex relationships amongst themselves and on social media, and that it would be impossible for teachers to stop them. Okay, would the kids pick up at home or would the kids pick up in movies? Hey, you can't stop that. But the teacher shouldn't encourage that. The teacher should not encourage these kids to have this conversation. Because look, I'm gonna give a point. And as a youth minister, I tell a lot of my youth teens this. You shouldn't be worrying about dating 10, 11, 12, 13. My first real girlfriend was my wife, and I was 18 years old. Oh, Isaac, that's because your family probably no. My family didn't do that. I was looking for relationships. I started getting interested around 16. But ladies and gentlemen, 11 to 15, 16, no, that's way too young. But this teacher apparently is encouraging this. A teacher should not encourage, no, and that's my opinion, no teacher should encourage a student to date another student. Show them how to read, write, and do arithmetic. Ew. Show them my Cajun education right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not. She said we can't stop. No, you can't stop, but you shouldn't encourage it either. She said a parent's right to shield their children from LGBTQ conversation is gone when that child attends public school. No, it's not. Because this lady right here, Miss Barbie, needs to realize something. We pay her salary. We pay the school board salary. Us as parents should know what's going on in public schools. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts about it. And for this woman to say that us to shield these kids, these conversations in school because they're in public school, is baloney. A parent should pay attention. She even made a remark that those children are basically the stakes when they're at the school. Now this comes also on the same time while Biden says he believes the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, no, your kids do not belong to the public school system. Your kids do not belong to the state. If you're a parent and you have children, those kids belong to you. And I'm going to quote Matt Walsh. One of these teachers, I can't remember which one it was, said, "Oh, we love your children just as much as you love them." No, they don't. Matt Walsh made a good point on that. I will take my life for my child. I will give an organ for my child. But you won't. Oh, no, that's poor Jimmy. That's bad. Oh, poor Jimmy. You heard about poor Jimmy? Teachers don't love your children more than you love your children as a parent. And for these teachers to defy this, and for woke Target to say, "Hey, we're gonna push left-leaning agenda to educate and to propagandize your children," is wrong. And now you, as a parent, you have the right to do something about it, and you should. I know not all my audience probably can pay for private school. Like I said, I have been fortunate right now to put my kids in private schools. But even if I have to take out my kids out of that, they're going to be homeschooled. Why? Because I don't want my children indoctrinated by the states. And if my kids ever would go to public school, I promise you, I would be on the school board's rear end. Because they're our kids, not the states, not the teachers. And for these three examples I gave you, Target and these two teachers, to think they can go ahead and indoctrinate our children, they're fools. And it should never be this way. Never. With that being said, I'll be right back in a few moments. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company. Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul. All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. You know, ladies and gentlemen, going back to my last segment and what I was saying about protecting your children. The Bible says to raise your children up right in the sight of the Lord, and they will never depart from that. And look, this can go for any parent. It's just if you raise your children to be, to respect right and wrong, your children are gonna go ahead and have respect. They're gonna go ahead and they're gonna work. They're gonna go ahead and make something of themselves. But ladies and gentlemen, when you go ahead and give your kids up to the state, or give your kids, they're gonna learn in school about biology and all this other stuff, you're opening up your kids to be taught wrong. oh, what you're trying to say, Isaac, science is wrong. No. But when you have a teacher, and look, not all teachers, I'm going to make this point clear, not all teachers think this way. But when you have teachers in the classrooms that say we have to go ahead and unprogram these children to think that this is the right way, this is when you have to step up as a parent and say, no, it's not. And look, I wish we had more parents. And this goes back to Virginia. If you remember why Glenn Youngkin got elected in Virginia, because the governor before pushed left-leaning agendas in the school. He was pushing abortion and all this stuff. And look, you had the attorney general, the lieutenant governor, and the governor all switched to Republican. On what? We're going to make you, the parents, take control of the schools. And look what happened. You had parents step up and fight for the children. And we have an organization. I know the person. I have her card somewhere, and we're supposed to have her here in the near future. But this organization protects children in Louisiana. And this is a mother. These are parents that run this organization. And I can't. It's in my notes somewhere. Let's see if I can find it, because I would like to really, Moms for Liberty. And Miss Page, the vice chair there, is doing a great job. But ladies and gentlemen, you cannot go ahead and give your kids to the state or let the state think, hey, we can give them the truth while the parents that is putting doubt on the parents. And that is not, a school is there for you to read and to write and to learn math and to learn things that can help you in the future as an adult. But this whole ideology thing of, well, we got to show our kids that there's more than just straight people and more than just male and female. That's hurting our nation. Because you got to remember, these are the same kids that are going to grow up, some of them be politicians and possibly presidents of the United States of America. And they have this ideology of confusion. That's what I call it, an ideology of confusion. It's going to hurt us in the long run. And look, divided we stand, united we stand, divided we fall. If we have a nation that cannot identify what is a male and a female, God help us. All right, Montana becomes the first state to completely ban TikTok after national security privacy concerns. This bill was passed the 18th. Well, this article was written on the 18th of let me go ahead and pull up my calendar. The 18th, which was Thursday of last week. They went ahead and the Montana legislation. If you have TikTok already on your phone, you're in Montana, you good. But the App Store can't hold it no more. The Google Play Store can't hold it no more. The reason for the ban was this was from the governor. The governor of Montana said the Chinese Communist Party using TikTok to spy on Americans, violate their privacy, and collects their personal, private, and sensitive information is well documented. Today, Montana takes the most diverse action of any state to protect Montanians' private data and sensitive personal information from being harvested by the Chinese Communist Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already said this. I'm against the TikTok ban. Now I remember when Trump first brought this out, I was saying, I'm for it, but let's say it is, I came to the light on that issue. And I could be wrong. You know, this is an opinion I have, but this is why I'm against it. One, free speech issues. TikTok is by far one of the most free speech platforms out there. Do they still censor and do they have community guidelines that I don't understand? Absolutely. But I'm a TikTok user. If you go to the Cajun Conservative Show, you will find my TikToks. I put clips of the shows. Sometimes I even do a video by itself, but sometimes I'm busy and I can't put a clip in, but I try to post regularly on TikTok. And if you have a TikTok, please go ahead and subscribe. But ladies and gentlemen, this governor, and I believe he's a Republican, is telling American citizens, you cannot have TikTok or you cannot voice your opinion. And ladies and gentlemen, this is wrong. This is wrong. And this will face issues in court. Because, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, if this is happening, but if you sign that agreement, they have the right to do what they're doing. And I'm not for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not for TikTok or any other social media platform for that matter, pulling sensitive information or collecting sensitive information. But people don't read these things. They just hit accept. And ladies and gentlemen, now, and look, I don't care if this guy is a Republican or a Democrat or whatever. He's basically telling the American people, hey, I know better than you, and we're going to ban this. Now, it's just not him. It was the whole state of Montana that had to do this. They passed in their legislation. And I honestly see this going to court and this governor and the legislation losing. Why? Because of this one issue. It's free speech and freedom of choice. Going to the second point of why I disagree with this ban, if that's the case, you have to ban almost every social media account out there, and that is including conservative ones. Because, ladies and gentlemen, do you honestly think the ads you get on your social media platform is them guessing what you doing? Hey, Isaac saw this new shoe. He might like this shoe, so we're going to keep on throwing him shoes. How did he get that information? They see your server. They see your searches. They see all this stuff. Oh, hold on, Isaac. Hold on. What you trying to say? Yes. If that's the case, if you have to ban TikTok, you have to ban every other social media platform out there. Well, that don't make sense. That's American That's American. I don't care. If they're worried about security, if they're worried about people seeing, if they're worried about sensitive information, private information, personal information, you got to get rid of all of them. Like I said, this even includes True Social. Now, I don't know all the backgrounds about True Social, but I'm just saying every social media platform has some type of way they get your information, and they look at it and they ask what you're doing, or they know what you're doing. So this governor, and it was sponsored by Republican state Shelley Vance, who said that TikTok was a major threat to our national security. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I understand you might have some national security problems, but what about the southern border? What about the debt ceiling debate that we're having right now? What about look these Montana people? Look, it's a state. I understand, but I promise you, in Montana, there's a lot bigger fish to fry than worrying about TikTok. It's the same thing a while back when they had the TikTok CEO on Capitol Hill. They were asking all these questions, and look, don't get me wrong. One thing TikTok did that I couldn't do, and a lot of other people, unify the Democrat and the Republican Party. Props to TikTok. But ladies and gentlemen, they were talking to the CEO and asking him all kind of questions about TikTok and national security and all of that. But while we got millions of people crossing the border, thousands upon thousands every day, or we have a debt ceiling crisis, or we have gas prices are high, food's high. We have a lot bigger fish to fry in America than worrying about a thinking social media platform. Well, you gotta realize national security. If a Democrat tells me that, I say, well, you need to shut down the border. Oh no, we gotta welcome them in with full open arms. No. You're worried about national security with a social media app. Don't you understand that China can get all our private information? You got other social media platforms in America that's doing that. Yeah, but that's America. It don't matter. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And this right here, I'm sorry. I cannot find, people might say, well, Isaac, you're on TikTok. That's why you have a biased opinion of it. No, if TikTok was bad, I would delete it from my phone. But ladies and gentlemen, you can't tell TikTok, who's owned by a Chinese-based company, you need to go. You're violating their rights to have something in America, even if they're not American citizens. They made a platform for American citizens to voice their opinion. And also, you're allowing other social media accounts, which have been proven that have lobbied to go ahead and try to influence Congress to ban TikTok because of their personal wealth. TikTok has stepped on a lot of toes, but this governor is worried about banning them, and we have way bigger fish to fry. And look, I would even say this. Look, our legislation is in session right now, and I haven't heard of a bill yet. But if I hear a bill saying, "Hey, I want to ban TikTok," I'm calling that rep. I'm gonna say, well, "What are you doing?" I understand national security. I understand all this stuff, but we got way bigger fish to fry. Instead of worrying about an app that with national security, let's worry about our border where they have terrorists that are passing over. Come on, man. You can't. I just can't. This right here, it's where our country's for. Oh, we're focusing on a social media app where we have bigger fish to fry at the border. I think the governor's wrong in this. And look, if you live in Montana and you want to debate me on that, I'm proud. Let's go. I'll go ahead and debate you. But I see this should not have been talked about. All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene files impeachment articles against Joe Biden and his administration officers. This is something that Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying is impeachment week, where she filed an impeachment against Joe Biden, Mayorkas, Christopher Wray of the FBI director, and Merrick Garland, and also U.S. Attorney Matthews as part of what she's calling, as I said, impeachment week. So starting, I think, from Tuesday onward, Marjorie Taylor Greene went ahead and filed impeachment proceedings to all these people. Now, it's not gonna work. I don't think Republicans would vote for none of this. Now, this is the sad thing. Majority of Republicans probably agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But because Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing this, they're not going to go support it. Why? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene is very controversial. Now, like I said, it's possible. It's possible these articles can go. I see Marjorie Taylor Greene doing this as a political stunt. Okay, look, I'm not for impeaching presidents unless it's let's go back in history. Richard Nixon, who was a Republican, but it was clear that Richard Nixon was hiding something. So when they started the impeachment proceedings, it was justified. It was also bipartisan. If I'm not mistaken, Bill Clinton was as well, when there was a bipartisan issue and they thought, hey, he should be impeached. Now, it didn't go through. He didn't get convicted in the Senate. There have not been a president yet that has been convicted by the Senate and removed from his post as president. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, going back to that, I honestly think she's doing this as a political stunt. This is a political stunt because they're trying to make Biden look bad. They're trying to make Biden picks look bad. The thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene, she don't really have to try that hard. Why did I say that? Because Biden has been looking pretty bad ever since he got into the White House. Merrick Garland, thank goodness this man was not appointed to the Supreme Court, but he is the Attorney General, has went against pro-life activists at their house and raided their house. Well, I'd say him, but the Department of Justice and the FBI, Christopher Wray, has allowed this. Mayorkas is an embarrassment at the southern border. Tells everybody else, and he even trying that now with the southern border, don't come. We're going to send you back. But this is the same administration that told people, hey, we're not going to give you court dates. Just come on in. We trust you that you're going to do right. And when the state of Florida said you can't do that, oh, right, we're going to give you a court date. It's going to be set for 12 years. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I understand her position on this. She made a statement at a press conference saying Joe Biden has deliberately compromised our national security by refusing to enforce immigration laws to secure our border, allowing approximately 6 million illegals from over 170 countries to invade our country, deprived our border patrol. Deprived our border patrol of necessary resources, and policy sufficient to protecting our country. And his administration has willfully refused to maintain operation control as required by the law. So she has some good concerns, the fentanyl and everything. She has legitimate concerns why we should impeach Joe Biden. But I do feel that this is political. First off, she knows this is probably going to help Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is running around saying build a wall again. And rightfully so, Trump has a good idea. I hope Ron DeSantis or somebody else, if they get elected, brings that policy back. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't see this going through. I don't see this possibly passing, at least the Senate. It's not going to pass. If it passes the House and they impeach Biden, I would be shocked. But it would have to be something really, really on the... Now, there is a lot of stuff going on with the Bidens. The Biden family's crime wave. That's what I call it. Hunter Biden's laptop. Hunter Biden's family dealings. All this stuff. It is coming to light. And look, ladies and gentlemen, Biden is losing in the polls. Biden is losing in the polls, and they cannot stop the bleeding. And this is why you have people like Robert Kennedy and other Democrat candidates want to get into this race, because they have a good chance of winning. But ladies and gentlemen, her trying to impeach Biden is just a political statement, saying, look, I think he did wrong. He needs to be held accountable, which I agree with. But ladies and gentlemen, this isn't going to fly. I'm sorry. I wish there was by some way we could take out Biden, but there's no way. The only way you're going to take out Biden out from being president is by picking a winnable candidate in 2024 and beating Biden at the polls. And ladies and gentlemen, it's right now, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Biden is messing up everything. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, like I said, she's trying to make Americans aware of what's going on. So look, like I said, I'll eat a lemon if this goes any further than what it does now. We'll just have to wait and see. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and take our final break. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed, like Isaac. I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party is trying to violate your First Amendment right. What you mean by that, Isaac? Well, Dems back bill would create federal agency to police Americans for misinformation and hate. This is according to Town Hall. Brought forth by Democrat Senate Michael Bennet, Democrat of Colorado, the Digital Platform Commission Act, DPCA, would flag misinformation and hate speech on the internet. The bill creates a federal agency to do nothing but to monitor, the mandate, and enforce guardrails against people who spread so-called misinformation, giving out consequences for information Democrats deem wrong. Now, this comes from a Democrat-backed Senate, and this is where I'm going to come to the point with this. And this is what I would ask any person that agrees with this bill. Yes, there's so much information, false information on the internet. And some liberals might say I do the same thing. I don't know. But the thing, who would deem certain things misinformation? Ladies and gentlemen, would the Democrat Party determine what is misinformation? If they go ahead and appoint someone to lead this committee or this whatever this is, and she decides that it's that the Bible quotes false information, and I put a scripture on YouTube or Rumble or any of our platforms that we are on, what I would be doing someone that's spreading misinformation? What if there's something I have an opinion on? And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing about the First Amendment. A lot of people don't understand. They think the First Amendment is there just, we can talk to anybody. The First Amendment was put there for people that you disagree with. I don't like liberal ideology. I don't. I have a good friend. He's a TikToker. He's a liberal. I talk to him on a regular basis. And do I agree with everything he says? No. Look, I promise you, 99.9% of what my friend put on TikTok, I don't agree with. Now, I shouldn't go ahead and say we should have a bill that censors false information because I disagree with him. And this is what the Democrats do. The Democrats don't like people coming against them. So what they do, they try to pass a law that would censor things that they deem as misinformation, and they want to take people down. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not how this works. This is a violation of the First Amendment, this bill, which them pushing this bill also goes against the Constitution, because you're not supposed to make a bill or create a bill or try to push a bill through that violates an American's rights. And this Senator Michael Bennet did just that. He went ahead and created a bill that violated the First Amendment, and he broke the Constitution. Oh, wait, what were you trying to say? No, I'm not trying. He could have been mistaken. He could have been mistaken. Let's give this man the benefit of the doubt. He could have been mistaken. But filing this bill because he's tired of people quoting misinformation. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot control people's thoughts. Now, I can understand, you could stop misinformation going online. Okay, you can, but the thing of it is you cannot violate a First Amendment right. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why social media apps and other platforms are so worried about somebody coming one day and creating a bill against the 230 section where it protects the social medias from getting sued and stuff. That's when all this started. When Section 230 came out, and they protected the social media accounts, which they should. A social media platform should not go ahead and get sued because somebody put something on there. I agree with that part. But now having them act as editors, that's violating people's First Amendment rights. And this whole bill that he has created, this federal agency. This is dangerous. This is why I'm against this is why I'm against putting a federal agency to give people permits for guns. Because especially with the shootings that have happened recently, this is one of the biggest stories. Oh, we need to get people to get trained and get federal permits to own a firearm. This will stop all mass shootings. What if a politician that runs this says, I'm anti-Second Amendment. I don't want nobody to have guns. We're not going to push no more permits. Oh, that would be violating the Second Amendment. Well, telling somebody to get a permit for a gun is violating the Second Amendment. The way the Constitution was written, it says that anybody could get a gun. Now, you can argue, well, should they have big bazookas? And no, Whoopi comes up, I don't understand why you need 500 some guns. Because it's an American right. It's the same thing with cars. If we want to buy 250 cars, we have the right to buy cars. I don't see the need for you having 250 cars. It don't matter. You have that right as Americans. Same thing with guns. If you want 500 guns, hey, you can have 500 guns. Now the ATF might come and check on you. But in reality, the Constitution never put a limit on firearms or a limit to buy certain firearms. Now you hear the president, you hear other people, they you can't buy this certain thing, can't buy this. I saw a TikToker this week said, hey, I got all that. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot violate Americans' rights. And this is why I'm against this agency. Because like I said, well, who will determine what's false information? All right, moving on. We had some big news this week. First off, Tim Scott files to run for president of the United States in 2024. He filed the paperwork. He decided to run. This is after he formed this committee to check and see if it was viable for him to enter the race. He must have thought, hey, it's viable for me to enter the race. So this is another big name that has entered into the presidential race. Right now, he's the only black Republican in the Senate, and to my knowledge, he's the only black presidential candidate to go ahead and run for president. Now, ladies and gentlemen, does he have a shot? We don't have polling on that yet. Like I said, I don't really trust polls, but some polls do give you an idea of what is going on. But Scott filed the paperwork. He's ready to make this run. And how will he do? Well, it depends on Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. Now, he's from the state of South Carolina, which is huge in the primaries. Does he win that in the Republican primary? I don't know. Like I said, it all depends. Now, we also got word this week that in the coming days, Ron DeSantis is going to probably run for president. He's planning on making that announcement in the coming days. Right now, it was always assumed he was going to run. So now that he's coming out and running, he's going to be a candidate, and we're going to see what happens. Now, the groundwork has been laid for Ron DeSantis to run already, because Ron DeSantis, his state of Florida, passed legislation that said he can run for president as governor. Apparently, in Florida, you couldn't run for two offices and hold one at the same time, or run for office and hold one at the same time. That has changed. So now you have Ron DeSantis that's potentially going to announce sometime this week. Talking about Ron DeSantis, the Daily Caller put out a report Friday saying DeSantis pitched to donors, "I'm the only GOP candidate who can beat Biden." And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis privately indicated on a Thursday phone call with donors that he's the only GOP candidate who can win both the Republican primary and the general election, according to the New York Times. So, ladies and gentlemen, the article goes in that he's planning on announcing sometime this week coming up, and all that stuff. Is Ron DeSantis the only guy that could beat President Biden? No. To be honest with you, I think Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Donald Trump, and everybody else that is really in that race has a good chance to beat Joe Biden if they stay on message that the border's bad, the economy's bad. You're paying. You're not. All the question they have to ask is, are you better today since Biden got into office? And majority of Americans will tell you no. We are not better than when we were 3.5 years ago. We're not, or 2.5 years ago at the time of this recording. We are not better now than we were, God knows how long ago. That's what a Republican go ahead and pitch that to anybody, and they could probably have a good argument on it. Now, is Trump the clear front runner? Well, according to some polls, he's leading by almost 60 to 70 points, and Ron DeSantis is a far distant second. So, and look, and this is the bad thing about Trump. You're going to get majority of Republicans still want Trump. It's not that 70% you got to worry about. I think that 70%, if Donald Trump is not the nominee and he don't run as an independent, we'll go ahead and vote for the nominee of the Republican Party. I honestly believe that. It's not that 70% you have to worry about. It's that 30% that call themselves no Trumpers. And I have friends, I talk to people on a regular basis where they tell me they will never vote for Donald Trump again. That is their privilege, but they're in that 30%. So how do you get them 30% of voters to the Republican side? I think that's the question that needs to be asked in this race. Not, I'm the only one that can beat Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I think anybody can beat Joe Biden. To be honest with you, this presidential election is up for grabs. Biden only has 30% of Democrats that say they want him to run again. That is a very low number. His approval rating is dropping every month. So now, of course, he's trying to get money out of these people. But at the same time, Ron DeSantis saying, I'm the only candidate who can beat Biden. No, I don't think so. Now, is he the only one that could beat Trump? Possibly. And we have to see. The primaries don't start until later on in this year. So the first now he is putting he's putting his name out there like Tim Scott. They're getting ready. They're going to be up. They already have an instant spot in the Fox News debate coming up in August. Will Donald Trump be there? That is still up for debate. So we're going to have to see what's going on with that. All right. So my last story is dealing with the one, the only Barack Hussein Obama. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the former President Barack Obama. And I will respect the president in that way, calling him President Barack Obama, because he was a leader of this country, but sat down with Nate Blerson. Now, Nate Blerson is a former football player. He is not a journalist. Okay, I would ask Nate to do interviews with presidents if it was concerning basketball, football, or something of sports. But Nate Blerson is not a journalist. He played football, I think, for Seattle. I think he was a wide receiver. Same thing with Michael Strahan. Have you ever wondered why Michael Strahan is on ABC? Michael Strahan was a defensive lineman for the Giants. Look, his commentating on Fox News, I love it. Michael Strahan and Nate Blerson on CBS also does a great job on Sunday mornings for football. But being journalists and having them on this, talking to presidents and interview presidents, I don't see where they're qualified. Now, if they went to college and they got a journalistic degree, well, we can argue that. Hey, they're qualified. But anyway, let's go to this. Former President Barack Obama claimed that since he left the White House in January of 2017, the divided media was the thing that truly kept him up at night. Obama spoke with CBS Morning co-host Nate Blerson, I hope I'm saying his name right, over the divided nature of media and how to translate to a divided America. The thing that I'm most worried about is the degree to which we now have a divided conversation, in part because we have a divided media. In splitted media, Obama said. The former president, hit the wrong button. The former president went on to reflect on the time before cable news, the internet, and the 24-hour news cycle when most Americans got their news from three main networks and everyone could at least agree on what the facts were in giving situation. The president, well, I'm going to stop right there for a second, okay? Obama's talking before Fox News. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Even before CNN. Okay, I understand what the former president is saying. Let's talk about what I agree with him on that. We do have a divided media. CNN is all left. Fox News is right in the middle, give or take. If it doesn't sound right in the middle. And then you have Newsmax and all the other ones. They're extremely right. Okay, and look, this is why I tell people read all newspapers and try to find a newspaper that does present the facts and go with it. But he made this point about making three main networks and that everyone at least could agree on what the facts were. Ladies and gentlemen, this was CBS, NBC, and ABC of the day. And if you look at that, ladies and gentlemen, the media, look, I'm going to use for example. There was basically three medias in Bill Clinton's time, and the blue dress situation. You know where Bill Clinton said, "I didn't have no sexual relationship with that woman." Remember that? If you look at the history and you look at all that went on with that, the media was like, "Oh, this woman's a nut. This woman's she's crazy." Until the blue dress came out and they did a DNA sample and it came out to prove that it was Bill Clinton's, you know what, on her dress. Ladies and gentlemen, that's when the media was like, "Oh my goodness, the president did this. Oh, but we're not electing a preacher." They were trying to bring all kind of excuse. But also you got to realize this is when Rush Limbaugh came out. This is when Fox News started coming out, and it started giving people hey, look, this is a different view of things. Ladies and gentlemen, having multiple medias is the best thing in the world. This is why the Founding Fathers in the First Amendment gave the freedom of the press. As a host, I have the right to go tell people, hey, I'm a journalist because I have a show. I report on stories. I have went to council meetings when they ask, who are you? I say, I'm Isaac Hayes, the Cajun Conservative, and they realize who I am, and they not say to give me special treatment, but they don't restrict me because I'm a member of the press. Ladies and gentlemen, having multiple, now this division of Fox News and CNN, because I deal with this. I've had people, oh, you're a Fox News head. You'd say everything Fox News tells you to say. No. I look at all forms of media. Now, the president did go ahead and said today the most concern about what I'm most concerned about is the fact that because of the spewing of the media, we almost occupy different realities. Right? Obama said, if something happens that is the past, everybody can say, all right, we must agree on how to solve it. But at least we all agree that, yeah, that's an issue. Now, people will say, well, that didn't happen, or I don't believe that, or I don't care about the science. You see how he's saying about that? He's bringing that up to people that are not vaccinated. Or I'm not just concerned about these experts, because they're just all liberals, or they're just all conservative propaganda. He added. Obama then said one of his goals with regards to the Obama Foundation was to explore ways to bring the conversation back to where people could at least agree on a common set of facts as a jumping point. How do we turn to that common conversation? How can we have a common set of facts? He asks. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem is okay. I'm trying to say this in the nicest way to respect the president. He don't like he says we have a divided media because he does agree with the left. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what was the thorn in Barack Obama's side as president of the United States? It wasn't Afghanistan. It wasn't Iraq. It wasn't gain of functions and all this other stuff. No, it was Fox News. He hated Fox News because Fox News would go ahead and talk bad about him. And also, this comes at the time where the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, says, for the last 3 years, you've been giving me negative coverage, which is not true. He's talking about Fox News. He's talking about people like yours truly. And look, also another thorn in Obama's side was Rush Limbaugh. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what's keeping him up at night. It's not the fact that we have a divided media that's keeping him up. It's the fact that there's a right wing of the media. That there's Fox News. That there is Newsmax. That there's all these other alternate news networks. And I've seen this because I understand his whole division, because there's a division in the media, but it's based on politics, unfortunately. Left, CNN will not say anything bad about the left, but trash all the right. Fox News will go ahead and say things bad about the left and glorify the right. If they don't like Donald Trump, they're not gonna. I'm talking about Fox News. Fox News does not endorse Donald Trump for president, and all this stuff. I can understand his point, but this is the thing that keeps him up at night is the media. Ladies and gentlemen, as a former president, he should be looking at Biden and saying, what the hell are you doing? No, he's not. He's not worried about Biden. He's worried about the media. And ladies and gentlemen, you know why he's not worried about the Biden administration? Because in their mind, Hillary Clinton was already supposed to have half of this stuff done. This is why Biden is pushing so much stuff. I honestly think they know he's going to only be a one-term president, and they have to try to get it to where they're trying to catch up on time they lost. But ladies and gentlemen, Obama, the worst thing in the world is keeping him up at night is Fox News. So you don't have to worry about Rush no more. Unfortunately, Rush passed away. But ladies and gentlemen, a former president saying, this is the thing I'm more focused on to try to bring people back to the common ground, and they can agree on facts. You can agree on facts. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not about, look news. Look, I've seen this in the local news on some local channels. They report on a story and they report the story as a, see, like me, I'm different, okay? I'm not a news journalist. I can go and say, hey, I am a journalist, but I'm not a journalist. I am an opinionist. I read a story like this one and I give you my opinion of the story or what I feel is up. But ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama is worried about the division of the news. No, he's not worried about the division of the news. He's worried about the right wing of the news. Because when he made the comment and says denying the facts or the scientific terms, it's funny how Democrats will say, you're not believing the science. Life starts a conception. Prove me wrong. That's not science. Or believe the science. Believe the science. There's two cultural. There's in biology. There's proof there's only two genders. Oh no, that ain't science. Who's denying the science? Ladies and gentlemen, Obama don't want to be questioned. Obama don't want to have anything. Hey, he don't want to be having pushback. He wants to be like Biden. Mr. President, what kind of ice cream you like? That's the questions they want. And this is why they can't stand Fox News. This is why they can't stand Newsmax. This is why they can't stand people like yours truly that makes podcasts. And with the audience I have influence you. Because we're going to expose what they're teaching is wrong. Or what they're saying is wrong. And they don't want to be challenged. And this is why the real reason he's staying up at night is and he's not worried about the divide. He's worried about what conservative podcasters and conservative news organizations are going to say about him. And look, it shouldn't be that way. And he has already said he only wants 3 sources of news. He said it in this one, and he said it. And also, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago, he said he wanted to be controlled by an agency. And this is funny, is how the Democrats are trying to push. We started at the beginning of the segment of how they want to have an agency that stops misinformation. Every communistic country, the media wasn't free. They were controlled by the government. And they told people what they wanted them to hear, not what they needed to hear. And this is what makes our country great. And this is why it makes that paper that's standing in the back of me so great. Because our founding fathers knew that a free press, a free people that had free speech, and a people that can hold firearms would stay free. And not let the government run through. With that being said, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Please remember to like and subscribe to the podcast on the podcast platform you're listening on. Also, subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Rumble. And we got some great news coming up. Please stay tuned for that. Everybody, thank you again. Please remember, Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. Until next time, you be blessed. You be encouraged. You have a good one.
Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open